we start to become aware that every disturbance that we experience is created by resisting whatever it is that is occurring in the moment. In every moment, there are occurrences which we can experience either from acceptance or resistance on a continuum. We might be, fluid in what percentage of each of those that we're actually in. If we're in complete acceptance, there's no suffering that's created, and we can then navigate very wisely from there. If we're in resistance, we're wanting it to be different than it is. It's creating friction in the Shakti field. And that's what creates the various types of disturbances like frustration, annoyance, anger, resentment, disappointment, dissatisfaction, sadness, depression, regret. All of the varying versions of disturbances are created when we're wanting something to be different than it is, when we're resisting whatever it is that is occurring. This had become clear to me, and one day I was driving my car to go across town to get to an appointment at a particular time, and when I drove up the on-ramp to the highway, when I got up high enough to see what was going on up there, it was bumper-to-bumper traffic. Instantly, I could feel a growl. And because there was enough awareness at that time that every disturbance is coming from that part of us that I call the wanter, I just wondered right in that moment when I could feel the growl, right at the beginning of the growl, the at the traffic, the bumper-to-bumper traffic. I just found myself wondering and asking this. I wonder what my wanter is wanting that it's not getting. Instantly, I noticed that I was now the awareness of the wanter. I wasn't captured in my wanter, wanting the traffic to be not happening and in the growl of it and the upset at it. I was resting back from a deeper place of consciousness, aware of this dynamic aspect of human consciousness that I call the wanter. And I was in that moment aware, of course, my wanter is wanting there to be not bumper-to-bumper traffic. And I felt so much gratitude for my wanter in that moment. All this life you have been looking out for me. Thank you so much, wanter. You're always trying to make things ideal for me, optimized for me. Thank you for all the thousands and thousands of moments where you have been in a very active way on the lookout and trying to make everything the very best for me. Thank you so much for always looking out for me. And then in that gratitude toward my wanter, I just sort of communicated to my wanter, I just want to let you know we don't actually have any control over this. And then I noticed I'd spontaneously started breathing long and slow, a style of what's called pranayama that I learned at the ashram, where you breathe in through your nose and let your belly gently expand. And then on your out breath, you breathe out of the mouth and let your belly gently press back in. This was a style of pranayama that we learned at the ashram. Prana means the life force, and yama is a way of breathing. Pranayama is a way of breathing that has an effect on the way the life force flows through your body. And this particular style of pranayama is the one we were taught at the ashram, breathing in very gently and very slowly in through the nose and letting the belly expand. And then on the out breath, letting the belly gently press back in and breathing out of the mouth. So I was breathing like that, and I noticed my whole nervous system relaxing, my heart rate slowing down, the muscles relaxing, everything just so much more at peace. And I realized, wow, this could possibly be a way of not having to get pulled into all of that suffering that I would have created for myself had I stayed stuck in my wanter that was growling at the traffic. Then there would have led to another thought. How come there has to be this traffic? And this is so unfair, and it's going to make me late. And, might even turn to self-loathing. I'm such an idiot. I should have planned for this. I should have left earlier. All the mind stories that can get created in such moments. And I realized, wow, all of that could have happened and yet didn't, just by catching it at the first growl. This was the origin of the first growl practice that day in the bumper-to-bumper traffic. And I realized, if I had stayed stuck in my wanter, growling at the traffic, I noticed my wanter wasn't upset that there was traffic for everyone else. My wanter was only upset that there was traffic for me. Have you noticed this? When you're upset at something like that, you're not upset that there's traffic for everybody else. You're just upset that there's traffic for you. The wanter is very narrowly focused. That's its function. Its job is to always make things better for me. Each of our wanters' function, its orientation, its purpose is to always optimize whatever's going on for us. Our wanter doesn't care about anyone else. This is why sometimes we're selfish, or other people are selfishly behaving toward us. They're in their wanter. All of this becomes very clear when we start noticing what's creating the disturbance. It's when we resist what is. The wanter wants it to be not traffic for me. Well, of course it does. It's always going to try to make things better for me. So this was the first day that I realized that there might be a chance at the beginning of a disturbance to be available to this new way of navigating the disturbances. So then I shared it with someone, somewhere down the road from that day, and we called it the first growl practice. Because you got to catch it early. You wouldn't call it the 10th growl practice, because if you're 10 growls in, it's too late. You won't be able to catch it. You'll be so captured, so in, that then the practice would be the living practice, where you really just have to burn in it. But there might be moments where you too can start to notice, if you can catch right at the beginning of a disturbance and notice it and just simply ask, what is my wanter wanting that it's not getting? It will always be whatever is occurring, it wants not that. Whatever is occurring, it wants whatever is occurring to be not occurring. Then as soon as you ask that question, what is my wanter wanting that it's not getting? You're now the awareness that you are of your wanter. You're no longer captured and experiencing that moment from the perspective of your wanter. You're now aware of your wanter. And then I invite you to thank your wanter, because your wanter is always just trying to make things better for you. Thank you so much, wanter, for always looking out for me. And then long, slow breath. Nice, long, slow breath. Because when you shift your attention to the long, slow breathing, it relaxes your nervous system naturally, and you're no longer focusing on whatever it is that the wanter is wanting to be different. You've shifted your attention and you're resting it back into pure awareness when you let yourself breathe long and slow. Because the human body knows if we're breathing long and slow, there isn't any emergency or any dilemma. When there appears to be an emergency or a dilemma that, like the growl at the traffic, the body will start pumping adrenaline to give you more energy for that intense situation, that intense moment. And it'll elevate your heart rate to give you more blood flow for your muscles to navigate that intense event that the body's interpreting as an emergency. And so, the possibility, what is my wanter wanting that it's not getting? Oh, it's wanting, whatever it is to be different. Thank you so much, wanter, for always looking out for me. And then long, slow breath. And if you like, you can use that style of pranayama where you breathe in through your nose, let your belly expand. Breathe out of your mouth, let your belly gently press back in. Now you're resting back into awareness and your nervous system will relax. Your body will start letting the heart rate slow back down and the adrenaline will stop pumping. Everything will come back into a nice, relaxed state as you stay with those long, slow breaths. And then what happened that day, once I was resting back in awareness, I was noticing, what are my options here? From true nature, from awareness, your eternal naturalness, you're very wise there when you're resting back in awareness. Very wise and very capable. So then I started to wonder, first I should text the person that I'm supposed to be meeting with and let them know I'm going to be late. And you know what? Maybe that next exit, when we work our way up to the next exit, I'll get off of the highway and see if I can find a back way to get to where I'm going. All kinds of options will present themselves that you might not even find your way to if you're captured in the wanter. We could imagine if I had stayed captured in my wanter, I'm just going to be mad at the traffic and mad at all the other people and where do they all come from and, and mad at myself for not planning enough time in case there was traffic and I might not even consider other options. I'm just mad the whole time. Or, what is my wanter wanting that it's not getting? It's wanting there to be not traffic. Thank you so much, wanter, for wanting there to be not traffic. But we don't have any control over that. And we're now breathing long and slow. The nervous system relaxes. The adrenaline stops pumping. The heart rate slows down. And we now have options. Maybe I don't decide to get off on the next exit. Maybe I decide to put on one of my favorite chant audios while I'm in the car and be available to all the other people. We could even, if we chose to, we could start sending love to all of the others in the traffic. That would be an option we could do. Our wanter wouldn't do that, but our true self, our true nature would absolutely send loving blessings to everyone that is also in this traffic. The possibilities that are revealed when we're resting back in true nature can sometimes be quite a wonderful and lovely surprise.